Polling suggests the race for U.S. Senate in deep red Arkansas has unexpectedly become much more competitive. We have Democratic nominee Hallie Schaffner. She's challenging two-term incumbent Republican Tom Cotton. And the new survey of likely voters show Schaffner with a slight lead over Cotton. It's within the margin of error, and it's only one poll, but that's the sort of poll we haven't seen out of Arkansas in a very long time. And Hallie Schaffner is with us now. Hey, Hallie, thanks so much for being with us. We've been talking this morning about farmers. We've been talking about Scott Bessent blaming and other people blaming farmers' anger on like the Green New Deal, which never passed. Just bizarre results. But you're from a family of 6 generations of Arkansas farmers. And
That's right.
You made this campaign about how farmers are feeling the economic crunch, how they're angry at how the economy's turned sideways. Talk about that and talk about why you got into this race.
Well, thank you. Thank you so much for having me this morning. I really appreciate it. You know, I think what's really resonating with folks in Arkansas is my story and how it's very much like the story of hundreds of thousands of Arkansans. I mean, I am a 6th-generation Arkansas farmer. I'm also a wife. I'm the mom of a 7-year-old boy. I caregive for a parent with dementia. And you're right, I wouldn't be here today if I hadn't closed my family's 150-year-old farm last year because of the farm crisis, which means I have quite literally lived the rising costs and the broken system. And so I decided to fight back and to be the kind of senator who's going to fight for Arkansas instead of Washington, which, let me tell you, is a sight better than what we have in Senator Cotton.
So tell me specifically what's happened over the past year or so that's been so devastating, not only to Arkansas farmers, but farmers across America.
Yeah, well, I mean, farmers, we are looking at the last several decades, honestly, but certainly the last 12 years of Senator Cotton, who voted against the Farm Bill. And we're asking, is Washington actually working for us? Because as farmers, especially, we're having to take bailouts every single year because the government is taking our markets. They are going to war, and it is increasing all of the input costs that we have. You know, we've lost 25% of the family farms in Arkansas, 15,000 across the nation. We now lead the nation in farm bankruptcies and farmer suicides. And we're looking at Senator Tom Cotton. We're saying, what are you doing for us?
So, Hallie, good morning. I'm curious what else you're hearing on the campaign trail. Obviously, farming is one piece of the story, but there's so much more going on with the rising cost of everything for people going to buy groceries and to buy gas and everything else. So why do you think you've broken through clearly looking at this polling in a way that has surprised a lot of people? What has been the core of your message?
It's really about knowing what the cost of life is in Arkansas. I mean, it's true. In Arkansas, we're a low-wage state, so we're simply not making enough money. And everything costs too much. And when we talk about gas prices specifically, I mean, we're talking about our farmers are going to the field to harvest corn right now, and diesel is almost $5 a gallon. We've got to be able to fuel our tractors. We've got to be able to fuel our combines. But we're also a rural state. I mean, most of our families, we're driving 30 minutes to an hour to get anywhere. The grocery store, school, the doctor's office. We're really struggling. And we're asking the question, why? I'm simply a real Arkansan who's speaking to these issues. And like we say in Arkansas, we're an independent-minded state. And you don't have to change your party to want to change your senator.
So, Hallie, let's talk about Arkansas. It's obviously a proud military tradition there in that state. Tom Cotton presents himself as a hawk on many issues, and certainly is a booster of the Pentagon and those who serve. The Iran war, how much of that is an issue right now for voters in that state who might reflexively be inclined to support a commander-in-chief, particularly a Republican commander-in-chief at a time of war, but who have seen very little progress made in the Middle East? And back here at home, the result has simply been rising prices, including at the gasoline pump.
I mean, right now, it's simply that Arkansans are struggling. Tom Cotton has wanted to go to war with Iran for 12 years. He finally got the war he wanted, and we're paying for it. And it does seem to us like we are struggling for a seemingly endless and very expensive war that is costing the taxpayer $1 billion a year, and at this $1 billion a day. And at the same time, farmers are asking, well, why is it that we can pay $1 billion a day in Iran? Why is it that we can give Argentina a $40 billion bailout, but we can't help Arkansas farmers in an industry that's literally our largest?
All right. Democratic nominee for U.S. Senate in Arkansas, Hallie Schaffner. Thank you so much for being with us. Hope you can come back soon. Thanks a lot.
Thank you so much.
All right. John Heilemann, hearing her talk, and of course, Arkansas, obviously, it would be extremely difficult for any Democrat to win. But just hearing her talk, I'm reminded of the type of candidates that win elections, and the type of Democrats that are going to have a good chance of doing something big this year. You listen to her talking about diesel. Right now, they're harvesting corn. Diesel, $5 a gallon. The cost of fertilizer up. Both of these things because of an unnecessary war in Iran. I mean, Donald Trump's appeal was, we're going to not fight unnecessary wars overseas. And she brings in, I'm not saying she's going to win, but you just look and she talks about this unnecessary war, the cost of diesel, the cost of fertilizer, a $40 billion bailout to Venezuela, all of these sort of things. The former politician in me is like, okay, for somebody running against an incumbent party, this is like Christmas Eve. This is lining up too much. And then you add on top of that corruption, how much Trump and his sons are making through crypto deals, through Pentagon deals. All of this adds up to something that Democrats should be able to just open up, walk through the door, take the majority.
Joe, absolutely. And it's funny. I had an email from somebody who saw Hallie Schaffner at an event, a fundraising event last week, and it just popped up in my inbox. And someone who is very savvy, who said, I don't know if she has a chance to win in Arkansas, but she has incredible communication skills and candidate skills, and she really knows what she's doing in that race. And again, I agree with you. It's going to be an uphill fight there, given the nature of the state.